But Jerry has a wandering eye. Almost every day, he leaves his office and heads to a little diner by the town's cattle auction. What he's hungriest for isn't on the menu. He's developed a yen for a 20-year-old waitress named Jackie Johns.
Oh, she was the it girl. She's kind of like the heroine of the town. She was pretty and had her whole future in front of her, and people were really proud of her.
She was very popular in high school, very outgoing. She was prom queen. She loved attention from boys.
Of course, Jerry thinks he deserves Jackie's special attention.
When he would come into the cafe, he would always want to sit in her section.
He wore expensive cowboy boots. He would tilt back in his chair and kind of watch her and just make her uncomfortable.
She didn't like it, and she'd say, "Will you wait on him today?" And I'd be like, "I don't like him. I don't want to wait on him either."
So obsessed is Jerry Carnahan. He offers the young waitress a job at his aluminum plant. Strapped for cash, she accepts.
He had told her that it was going to be a secretarial position, which probably didn't sound too bad to somebody who's working as a waitress, but she ended up working out in the factory, which didn't really fit her personality, so she didn't stay there long.
It's becoming very clear that Jackie has zero interest in Jerry, even if he is a big man around town. Besides, she's got a new boyfriend named Cody.
Cody was a nice guy. He was quiet. Jackie was the rowdy one. He was the quiet one, sort of like opposites attract.
That's when the phone calls start, with Jackie's best friend Dana often answering them.
I was staying the night at her house, and the phone rang, and I answered. He asked for Jackie, and I asked her who it was, and she told me it was Jerry Carnahan.
She could almost look out her bedroom window and see the tops of the houses where the Carnahan family lived, and she didn't want to talk to him. She never really explained why, but she was adamant, and she handed the phone to Dana, and Dana got rid of him.
Everywhere she goes around town, whether she's with company or alone, Jackie feels like she's being followed and watched.
She would make me go into her house and check to make sure no one was there before I left. Go in with her and make sure no one was there.
Jackie is on edge, scared that she may be in danger.
People around town know Jerry Carnahan as a bully, a narcissist, an arrogant ass. He's a creepy stalker and a walking time bomb. And now, his threatening and scary behavior is coming home to roost. This guy has spent his life breaking the rules and getting away with it. Soon, he'll take his depravity to a whole new level.
Gerald Carnahan is used to getting exactly what he wants. And for at least one woman in his life, a normal summer night in Nixa, Missouri, is about to turn very violent. Jerry Carnahan is prowling the streets of his hometown, Nixa, Missouri. He's rich, he's bored, and he's dangerous.
He had parked his truck alongside the 7-Eleven, facing the front, so that he could see anyone who went in that store, including Jackie Johns, who did.
He was there basically conducting surveillance, watching to see who was coming and going from that convenience store.
His whole depraved life, Jerry's had people say yes to his every whim. But with Jackie, it's always no, and he's furious. Now his lust is infused with anger, and he doesn't just long for her body anymore. Now he longs to punish her for rejecting him.
We believe that he left after he saw her there, realizing she was probably going to be going home. And that convenience store is located about a mile from where she resided with her parents. And we suspect that what happened was that he feigned a vehicle breakdown.
The thought is that Jackie drove by, and just because she's the kind-hearted sweetheart of the town, gave him a ride.
At the point where she let him into the car was where things took a very sinister turn.
Jerry pounces and attacks Jackie. Then he rapes her and beats her to death.
I just think that those were impulses that perhaps he did not have and does not have total control. We all knew in our heart that sooner or later that case was going to be solved, that it would be solved the next time there was a murder, and sooner or later people who are engaged in that kind of activity ultimately make a mistake and get caught.
But 20 years later, it's science that catches up to the arrogant rich kid. Nixa's most notorious cold case is reopened. A DNA test of the rape kit in Jackie's case shows that the likelihood of the semen belonging to anyone other than Gerald Carnahan is 1 in 6 quadrillion.
It's my understanding from the officers who effected the arrest that he cried, physically sobbed, and was extremely upset.
A jury convicts Carnahan of first-degree murder. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
I get emotional just thinking about it. It was just it's such a relief, you know? And I think that at that point you realize how much you'd actually carried all those years.
Everyone in Nixa is breathing a whole lot easier with Jerry Carnahan put where he belongs. Finally, the rich guy who thought he could get away with anything, and nearly did, gets his comeuppance.
Jackie's mother died shortly after her murder, and everyone in her family's convinced that she basically mourned herself to death. So it was bittersweet from the standpoint that Jackie's mother had not lived to see the ultimate resolution of that case.
Science got him in the end. Justice was served.
What comes around goes around, and it may take years. Eventually, all your sins will come back to you.
That's what happens when sins turn deadly.